Hello, my name is Joy Foster, and I was Sisterhood President 1987 for 2 years with Honey Burkle, and then an additional year with Gloria Silverman.
Joy, I know that your family have been were members of Beth Jacob Synagogue for a number of years. Am I right?
Yes, the Fosters. Yes, Barry
Right.
Foster and his family.
And how
Mhm.
about for you? How did you grow up in Hamilton, or did you come to the Beth Jacob community through being married to Barry? How did your involvement with Beth Jacob begin?
Yes, we came to Beth Jacob's congregation in 66, just after we were married.
And over the years that followed, at some point, did you ever serve? I have a vague recollection that you may have served on the board of directors, in addition to or aside from Sisterhood. Were you ever on the board itself?
I was leader of the Board of Education and proudly served with Jeff Manishin and Josh Bach.
Here we are. And in terms of your role as Sisterhood president, tell us about how that came about. Was there a Sisterhood board, or you were simply a member of the Sisterhood? What was the route that you took to get to become the president?
I was a Sisterhood member for many years. It was only, and still is, I believe, $36 to join. And believe it or not, the whole sisterhood itself for conservative movement was started in 1918 by Matilda Schechter. She was the wife of the president of the Jewish Theological Seminary. So it was a long-standing, proud organization, and it was mainly to involve other members in the synagogue in Jewish education for children and for ourselves, for women ourselves, and tzedakah.
Was the Beth Jacob Sisterhood in existence when you first came to the shul?
Oh, definitely.
Tell us about how the Sisterhood operated when you were a member.
We had monthly meetings, and there was always at the beginning a Devar Torah led by different members each time. And then our business was dedicated to seeing how the gift shop went, what tzedakah we could manage for the community to raise, our involvement with Israel. And it was mainly to be a model for the younger women to see the pleasure that could be would evolve from all this camaraderie.
About how many members of the Sisterhood did you have?
Probably 30 to 40 at each time. And the real privilege of it was working with older women that I perhaps never would have had occasion to spend so much time with, such as Mrs. Hannah Feldman, Dolly Goldblatt, Lillian Goldblatt. There's so many.
It's okay, you mentioned the operation of the gift shop, and actually, that's just refreshed my memory. The synagogue had a gift shop for many years.
It was beautiful. I think really taken care of by Cindy Richter.
The sisterhood was responsible for staffing it.
Yes, yes.
And in terms of other activities too, we've heard from Rosalie that the sisterhood was instrumental in operating the kitchen. As for example, Hanukkah dinners, Shabbat dinners, other events, that was the ladies of the sisterhood that put forward that effort.
Right, correct. And flowers on the bima for different occasions. And I believe it was Rabbi Silverman who had us start that presentation of Merchant of Venice, which you were in, and Maureen and Jerome Burgart. So that was an outreach from Sisterhood, I believe, because he would have spoken to us as a main group. And Gloria certainly instituted Hebrew classes for us all to be in, as well as making chalot. She was always teaching us how to make challah, and that was a thrill. And Lonnie Goldberg is still doing it to this day, making it for the Chesed committee to take to people who are homebound.
Now, was there a board of governors or board of directors for the sisterhood, or an executive? What was the leadership structure?
Yes, I'm sure there was, but again, I do not remember who was who. Um, but there was an echelon for sure.
You have particular recollection of the period of time when you were president, of any particular events, challenges, successes, anything that comes to mind? Any memories?
Well, that's why I'm saying about making challahs was one of them, and a lot of us went on to do it weekly. Certainly, Rosalie Gaff is still making her own challahs, as is my daughter because she saw me making it at home.
Were there any particular challenges that come to mind? Anything that was a difficulty that you had to deal with and overcome?
No, not really. I remember, I guess I was in the sisterhood at the time in the 70s when we were trying to get the Russian people out, the Jewish people out of Russia. And I think we sent letters at that time, but I wasn't instrumentally involved, just a sisterhood member.
And Rabbi Silverman was the rabbi throughout, and Gloria obviously there throughout. Tell us about the influence that Gloria had. You've given us some examples. The influence Gloria had on the sisterhood.
Oh, she was just amazing for women and children. And she was a magnet at Shul. So I think that's another reason we had so many sisterhood members, because of Gloria. The Hebrew classes that we went to that she started were amazing. And that's what Rabbi Silverman got us to go and become that first women's bat mitzvah group for ladies who had never had a bat mitzvah.
Were you part of the four? Rosalie was saying that. You were part of the four as well?
Of the four, there was 10 of us. I sent the picture to Jacqueline, actually.
Oh, that's great. I had
Uh-huh.
a recollection there was four on one particular occasion. There may have been
That
10 in
that might
total.
have been, yes, that was after, but our group of 10 was the first.
Goodness sakes.
Yeah,
And
it was,
so you were part of that group.
yes, it was wonderful.
Now, being the president of the sisterhood, did you have any particular responsibilities, whether it's organizing events, taking any kind of leadership duties?
For sure, just making sure that it all came together, that we all worked as a group. And as I said, we had monthly meetings and that kept it going. Basically from Yontif to Yontif, because as Rosalie said, we would organize flowers and kitchen. And yeah, so I think, just paying attention to the Yom Tovim and every Shabbat.
Was there anything in particular that you learned from your experience of being president, realizing it's something different from other life experiences? That responsibility, that leadership role, were the things that you learned from having that experience.
I think the best thing of all is working together with women of all ages that you never would normally socialize with and coming together in this common goal to have more people love the shul and be a model for younger women and children.
We haven't had a sisterhood for a number of years. Can you see a pathway towards a reestablishment of a Beth Jacob sisterhood in the future?
There's always a possibility, and hopefully, our board might institute that as well. Have reach out to the women of the synagogue to restart it.
Joe, you've maintained an active role, I know personally, an active role in being involved in attending the synagogue regularly. If you were speaking to a new family or a potential new member to attract them to Beth Jacob, what would you say to them is the real driving reason? What would be the most attractive feature that would encourage them to join Beth Jacob?
It's kind of easy in that once again, we have a very charismatic rabbi who was married to a young woman who was also a rabbi with sweet children. And the head of the ritual committee is a young woman herself bringing her children. And I think by the fun that we have every Shabbat, even during the service, and all the people learning Torah now to read Torah is so inspirational. I think that those are the main drives.
And I don't know if it would be possible to evaluate on this one. What do you foresee for the future of the congregation? What would it take for us to grow? What would it take for us to become that much more successful?
I think just more outreach. We have to continually do that, bring people to synagogue. I think that there are quite a few Jews who are unaffiliated in the city, and perhaps we have to do a lot more personal calls.
Now, that pretty much covers the questions that I had in mind, but one we've taken to using is if you had any particular memory, any observation, any comment that hasn't fit into the questions that you'd like to be able to share, please feel free.
Really, I just think that the Sisterhood organization that was started, as I said, in 1918, I think it's important to keep it flourishing again.